deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
He came through well with a nice pass breakup there. Fortunate that he was on the spot. He's the only guy left to prevent the first down.
On 2nd and 10, Burrow. And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. Hassan Reddick, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. Here we go. It's Burrow on 4th down. He'll air this one out for Boyd. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bengals try it, but it doesn't work out. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. Book now to throw on 1st down. And he delivers a strike complete to Watkins. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. Look at this, a tight end carry. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jack Stoll taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Eagles have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the 4th. Elliott good on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every...
And his pass is intercepted.
You need man-beating routes.
Picked off by Avonte Maddox.
You need man-beating routes.
Football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. They start the drive here with Gainwell, and they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Book. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. The Eagles on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 10. Airing it out deep for Smith. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
Open man, that's Devontae Smith. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Devontae Smith, 79 yards. And the Eagles start to open this lead even wider here in the 4th. Elliott good with a PAT. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Bengals drive about to get going. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because
force the incompletion on first down, and you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going into quarterback in an expected passing situation.
And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Burrow looking to pass. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 44-yard line. They go play action with Burrow. He will find his man Chase complete. And he will be taken down, but a big play there as it comes just as we reach the 2-minute warning. It'll go as an
So are you a
impressive
Bengals fan?
7-yard gain.
Uh, then you must feel great about that now.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down, escaping the pressure right. Oh, hit and
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
pass there, incomplete.
And that's another
I
big
just hate
reason
how he
why they
left
lost
us.
this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been
Yeah,
continually fueled by
yeah,
turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the
yeah.
other.
Throw left side, caught by the tight
Huh?
end Hurst. And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skills showing on
Oh,
that one, but just not much room
shit.
to operate. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, they're
Yeah,
going to try to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, cut
yeah.
inside
The
the
Lions were a
backfield,
tough team
but
the
just couldn't
last
get
few
it done.
years.
The defense was able to
Being
roll with them.
That's how my Eagles were. They were in a lot of close games, and then
Battled all of the
a few
interceptions.
years later, they
He's
figured
got
out
a
how
tough
to,
form for
you
him. I
know,
don't know what he thinks going
put
on
it
with this
together,
facility.
not be in like win those close games or just not play down to their opponent or
To not show that he's
whatever.
having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence.
And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown. But they still trail
I
the
remember when
football.
Take it or
everybody
leave
was
it. That's
talking
how I feel
shit
about it.
about Jared Goff, you know,
Well, forget about how it
and
comes out wide. He knows
I,
he's got to
I
get
feel
back
like
on the battlefield as
he
soon as
had
he can.
his career resurrected. Like I don't know.
And the offense
He
coordinator
had
said
to. I
something
think he
about
had to. That team had to do really bad for him to turn it around. Because I remember he did so well for the Rams the first couple years, and then he just started declining,
and it worked well.
After
and
the
then he got
touch,
it
it'll be
back.
Pearson on to kick this one away.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he will return this from deep
yeah,
in the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
yeah. He did. Yeah.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And
Yeah, the
to me,
Bills
that
and the
is a
Lions were
great
like my,
partner because in the old days of
they
old,
were
you
my
could run
teams to
football all
watch,
day long,
always
right?
to
But
look
now
out for.
opposing
The
teams
Bills and
can
the
shoot
Lions.
the ball. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the
Yeah.
way this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
That one complete down the field to Smith. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first
No,
down.
no, I just do the basics really well. A lot of players just try to get by with money plays. I just go through my reads and my progression.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. This short throw caught by Goddard. This will be a gain of
I
8.
tell people read the safeties, read the depths of the corners, check if there's a blitz. If there's a blitz, you do your blocking adjustments. ID the mic. I haven't been doing that, but when I'm able, like I know, okay, I have time, I can look, I can just go through my reads calmly. I know I have the time. Whether I read the safeties right after snap or read one side of the field, read a certain concept I have on the field, I could just tell where defenders are running.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the
Nice RPO. Is that, yeah. Or is a play action, yeah, or a play action. I mean, it's cheap going the spot and go routes, so. And on this play, I didn't even really know what I had, so right here is like, oh, man coverage. I'm going to try to look to one of the only man coverage, man beating routes that I had, and he just killed him. Yeah, the Bengals are really good at, they're really good, they're really physical, they're tough, physical, they're great against the run. They're great with, block shitting, they're great pass rushers, just tough tackling, hitting guys, but they're not great, not really. Like their middle linebacker's not great in coverage. I believe his name is shit no. Logan Wilson's their pass rusher, so maybe this was probably Logan Wilson right here. Yeah, Logan Wilson, who was more of a pass rusher. That's why he got killed right there. Yeah, and it makes sense. He's an outside linebacker right here. So that's the thing. If I know it's man coverage, like if you know it's man coverage, the only problem is it's got to be cover two man, because if it's cover one, if it's cover one or if it's like cover zero, you're going to have the safety on the tight end. And first of all, it's a deep route. So the safety's that far off. If he was in man coverage, he'd be that far off. He'd be about probably this far off. And then, depending on how good that safety is, maybe you're able to throw it underneath on the corner route. But, you know, the thing with like great cover guys in man coverage, like safeties, corners, like it looks like you have a guy open, but they quickly like close it real quick, and then they can like undercut it, pick it off. And you see like he's got no coverage ability at all. I mean, it was so bad that I missed him. I was like, oh god, if that's like a corner, if that's a safety, and I missed this is picked off or tipped. But because it's a linebacker, you know, still had a chance to make up for that. Right here on this run play, I just used what I talked about in practice, and I just thought like, okay, if the double, let me look at where the double teams are. It's like, okay, there were only single blocks, so let me just from there, let me read where my pullers are going, where the guys getting off a double team are going, where my lead blocker's going, and then I see this great push, and I see like, okay, I have the middle, and I have this where Goddard's going. So it's like I got to get skinny or, just get what I can get. And I know he's going to fall forward most of the time because he's a power back. So expect that. He was, he had a lot of play action, PA crossers, a lot of deep crossers. I could have played him. I don't know. If I played a man coverage all game long, maybe he adjusted and scores more than 14 points. But because I played him the way I did, he ended up abandoning the run. He could have been somebody to run stretches on me, tosses on me, use play action, use RPO, screens, open up the game more. Draw plays. Always forget about using draw plays. And when I tell you guys that I would love to use schemes, I'm being honest because I feel like I don't want to use schemes because of Madden players. They spam shit. Like I would love to use like a draw play, a draw run, and then later in the game go to draw play action at the perfect time. There's times where like I accidentally use what was it? I accidentally use a stretch run, and there's like, oh, I would love to do a stretch play action right now, but if I do, then I'm using it's kind of like a scheme in a way, because I kind of like um, what you call it. I used the same run fake. So I set up the play action later in the game, you know. So I don't want to set anything up later in the game. And because of that, yeah, am I limiting myself? Sure, but I'm also making up for it because of it's not just me going through my reads and my progression. I try to pick as many hard, like not just as many hard plays to defend. They're not money plays, but plays that have they may not be like easy concepts like curl flats, but there could be like 4 or 5 routes on the play where it's like it's easy to read one side real quick, get off one side, and then like let's say there's like a curl fade, like a fade smash with a curl on one side, and then you got like Texas routes, drag routes, so it's like easy to read the whole left side and say, oh, that's cover three, that's cover four. Let me get off of that, or let me take that curl on that side. Fade smash ain't working. Let me take that curl, or I don't like any of that. I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle for a curl. Let me go back to the middle. Let me check a Texas route or that drag route, and that's where it's like it's so easy every single play because like as long as I have the protection down, as long as I can see I have the protection, I have the time to throw, like I'm able to go. There's so many nice like plays that are like there's a lot of plays that give you checkdowns, give you hot reads, and they give you the ability to have a short, like your short passes usually are your hot reads, but they give you like a block and release flat throw, hitch, a curl, a drag, a slant, and then the other routes are like a fade smash, a post, a streak, or you can hot route stuff. You think it's man coverage, and you want to like do a quick adjustment so your opponent doesn't think it's like man coverage or cover zero. You can just hot route like a zigzag, and just like pick up maybe 15 to 30 yards, 15, 25 yards, stuff like that. Um, Another thing, defensively, he hasn't really been disguising his coverage as much. And I'm sure he wasn't user rushing me. Because if he was, I would have been sacked so many times probably. I didn't do my blocking adjustments. Yeah, I agree. Like, I almost wanted to give him the ball back after this because, oh man, that would piss me off. But that's the thing with zones. It's a deep blue. I always say you have to watch. You can't just throw this. When I see, first, like, I say, like, okay, yeah, I'm pressing, but if I really want that throw, I need to throw it right now. Throw it upfield right now, right here in the middle of the field. Because if I do that bullet throw right now, I got, but he's still running, doesn't stop his feet, doesn't stop to make this throw. He leads him, but guess what? He doesn't know that it's zone. Because of that, he doesn't know he's in the deep blue, and because of that, I'm able to make a play and pick it off. So, as I say, in zone, deep zones like deep blues, corners play like they're safeties on the field. They play a certain route like a corner route or play a route, and they just bail, and they play anything deep. If they, it's essentially it's almost like they play two things. He helps out covering this outbreaking route, and then he gets back in time to be like a safety, almost like a strong safety on the field. That's why I sometimes hate zones. And it gets to you sometimes in certain situations. You're like, oh, I got picked off because somebody bailed, right? Like a cornerback bailed when I had like a deep post or a corner route. It fucks with you later in the game because you think, oh, he's wide open. Oh, maybe that corner's bailing in the deep blue. Let me go off of that corner or that post now. And that was the only thing open on the play. Now you're taking a coverage sack. Now you're forcing a throw. Now you're throwing a pick, or it's like a third and long, fourth and long, and you need a play. And that was like the only route open. But because you got picked off earlier in the game from those corners and deep blues, playing like extra safeties on the field, you think that's what's going to happen, but it doesn't happen. So it's like, it gets to you. Your past, they tell you, as a quarterback, you really need to have like amnesia or. So there's plays like this where years ago I would read this. He's open, right? Say he's open, but years ago I wouldn't read this guy, and I would just stare him down. Oh, he's open, but then he's in the deep blue. Balin picks it off. Pick six. Now I don't just check. Oh, guys are open. Okay, let me check the window. Okay, he's not bailing. He's not in the area. Okay, I can throw it there. But I even wait for some reason. I wait too long because I look to the flats. But then I mean, right here is what I pretty much know. Like, okay, he's staying down the cover flats. And there, from practice, I just know like when I first started playing Madden a couple years ago, um, they wouldn't let you like throw on the run. There's like you couldn't like roll out, stop, and then throw, like because as soon as you stop your feet and you throw like right as you're stopping your feet, they they make you pay for it because you're not using like the right proper mechanics, right? You're kind of like stopping and you're throwing like as soon as you're trying to stop, you're throwing the ball. So you're like being in the process of stopping your feet and throwing it. They want you to roll around. They want you to stop your feet at all times and then throw it. So like even though in real life we don't need to stop our feet and throw the ball accurately there, like the game is trying to find a way to be more realistic. Even though that's not really realistic, it can be. I mean, you can't tell me like you don't need to be Patrick Mahomes, like Aaron Rodgers or anything to make this throw on the run. You don't. Or let's say we roll out a little bit with the quarterback, you know, and stop our feet right now and throw this. Like you can't tell me only Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. I can make that throw. You know what I mean? I can make that throw. Sure, is it going to be a little overthrown? I'm going to make it to the point where, yeah, is it going to be inaccurate? Yeah, it is. It's instead of it being there, it's probably like right there where he has to do a toe drag swag. But at least as long as it's like when you have like look at this, look how wide open it is. It's so wide open that for somebody that's not as skilled as Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, like Joe Burrow, you know, did I say Joe Burrow? Oh God, no, let's not Joe Burrow. Jesus, Justin Herbert. Damn, that's my guy. It's crazy he hasn't won a playoff game yet. I don't think. Shit, I don't think he's even gotten to the playoffs. It's crazy. Um, well, he's this wide open. As long as you lead him towards the sideline, you have nothing to worry about. Nobody's gonna get in there to pick it off. So it's like one of those things. Like either your guy's getting it or nobody's getting it. That's the mentality you need to have. But if you're skilled, obviously, then that'll be you don't have to think that way and just throw that. You're right here. I pump faked it because I was letting him know like I could take that if I want again for a touchdown. But I was like, let me pump fake it. Usually when I do that, I troll my opponent and I'm like pump faking something that's wide open for a touchdown to let them know. Usually nothing else is open on the play, but he ended up blitzing his middle linebacker, of course, which you know the only time you can blitz one linebacker or one defender, in the middle, and then the whole middle's wide open, it usually means it was a cover four, and that's what it was. It's a cover four because you can see the other linebackers, the outside linebackers, just spreading out. So it's like take your pick. Yeah, if I throw it right now to this guy, like, wait a minute, man, what the hell was this? Oh, wait a minute, it wasn't a cover four. Nope. It was. I thought it was a cover two because that's the other thing too. The linebackers in cover two, they play those curl flats. So they play the curl seam first or curl, and then they go to play the flats. And then the corners outside are playing soft squats. Probably it was probably cover six. Yeah, it was a cover six. So or a cover nine. Cover nine because this corner's in the deep blue. The free safety's in the playing. He's playing half of the field, I believe. And then on this side you have a cover two. you can see it's a cover 2 because I don't know. Fuck, I can't really tell what the hell. That's the thing. I would always say, like anything in life, right? Whenever you study for a test, whenever, like, whether you're a kid right now, whether you know, had that experience in school studying for a test, I'm pretty sure, I knew this. Teachers didn't have to tell me this. I knew, like, hey, don't study what you already know. Study what you don't know. Study, like, things that are hard for you, things you don't understand yet. Study that first. You know, so I would say don't keep practicing against coverages how to attack. I would say go against those cover sixes, go against those cover nines, those disguise coverages, those cover four show twos, those cover three hard flats. Um, I with those, like, those get me all the time because, well, if I'm not going through reads of my progression, staring stuff down, not blocking anybody, they get to me with a cover, like a coverage sack, or they get to me because I didn't block their elite pass rusher, and left them wide open, left them on block, stuff like that. Um, because you see a one high safety, you think, oh, it's cover one, cover three, cover one blitz, and then, oh no, they're playing hard flats. Oh shit, cover three hard flat. Ooh, pick, But because I'm getting hit on the throw or on block guy makes me run around in a situation. So I see this and, like, okay, it's like, oh my god, I did not expect this to be that wide open. I didn't look at this. Touchdown right here. It's like touchdown, touchdown, first down. Literally 3 big plays right there. And the reason for that, like I said, 2 routes were going to the middle. And when you're playing cover 2, deep corners, beat cover 2 if the safety, isn't on top of it. The safety's not on top of it. He maybe thinks he's running like maybe a seam. He gets inside the seam pass. Yeah, and say maybe it's because of the bunch. Maybe it makes the strong safety not know. Maybe he thinks there's like a combination of deep routes right here. Maybe he thinks like this is a deep post by Pascal. And maybe he thinks 16, because there are different plays where instead of this being like a post with this right here, it's like he runs a post and then he runs like a seam, or he runs a corner and then he runs like a post. There's plays like that. There's plays where he has his first initial run here and then he goes here, and then this guy goes in the post. So he's probably thinking, shit, what do I do? I'm in no man's land. Which one do I take? And for some reason, I would always take, I don't know, I feel like I would always take the corner route every time. Okay, so he spends a little too much time playing inside, thinking maybe both routes are possibly going inside, or just spending too much time to see what 16's doing walking. Because of that, he's already beat. He's beat, the hand in the cookie jar, or whatever you want to call it. Right here, I'll tell you what, I probably would have been sacked or would have been a throw for a pick because I got caught up not only with my running back. I've never seen this happen. Like, look at this. The center is like fucking behind me. Are you kidding me? I never had that happen before. Never. First time. So if you guys do watch me play, if you guys see me like looking paranoid, running behind my running back, it's because of shit like this. There's times where I throw the ball, it flutters or whatever, and it gets picked off. I actually, thank goodness, I didn't, like, I thought the tight end was X. He ended up being circle. I'm like, why isn't the ball thrown? And I was like, oh, thank God it wasn't thrown, because of this. Look at this shit. It's a sandwich right there. I wouldn't even call that a coverage sack because if they weren't there and that button, that receiver's icon was X, that would have been a touchdown. But it was circle, and thank goodness it was circle. Saying thank goodness, I won like what, 42 to like 7. I don't even put 42 to 14. I don't know what the score was. Right here, I felt like shit doing it, but I was like, let me just see if I got it because they were doing something with their coverage. They audibled a little bit, and I was like, let me check if they put man coverage. I thought it was man coverage, but it wasn't. He let him go, and when I saw this, I was like, okay, I still got the seam. All right. Like, you'll never have a seam pass be wide open like that against man coverage. Only if the defender DB is just so bad that he can't press, or he can't turn and run, like, whenever you see this, it's always a zone. So you could say you want to be lazy. I don't condone it, and I hate people who are lazy. If you want to read, like, okay, one high safety, see, seam pass, oh, it's cover 3. Why? Because it's a zone. That's clear as day, a zone right there. No guy in man coverage would leave that open like that. Nobody. I put the worst rated linebacker, worst rated corner on him. He would not leave that wide open like that in man coverage. No way. You just go to your cover 3 beater, which is a seam, sometimes a post, a corner, a flat, a drag. Texas routes, depending if you flood the zones. Like, I try to come to play every game on offense, and I try to be better every game defensively. I can't, like, you guys see what happens when I don't talk much. I'm able to just focus more. I'm able to focus on, okay, let me read their play. Let me see what adjustments to make. I always contain the quarterback first, and then I try to cover the run. So QB contain, cover the run. If there's a running back in the backfield and gun, I take a peek to see. First of all, I don't do it if I don't think. Sometimes I just sense like a screen's coming. Like, especially like certain formations and sets just give you a tell sometimes to make you feel like it's a screen, But you can see, like, I think it's a possible screen. And I'm going there. But guess what? Sometimes that's enough to make somebody think like, oh, okay, let me go off of that flat read, What time is it? Fucking almost 2 o'clock. Like, it's tough because if your mind's set on like trying to get a big play, that's your first read, you're gonna miss these guys wide open. That's why there's times like I don't know if I don't know there's a blitz, if there's a chance for a blitz, I always read the first guys first because here's the reason, right? I say touchdown, first down, check down, right? But sometimes it's like, well, let me check first to make sure there was no blitz. It's like, okay, no blitz, but he's open. There's no blitz, he's open, and there's pressure. So it's like, if there's no blitz, I say like, okay, there's no blitz. Let me check the pressure that from the D line. It's like, okay, I have a guy that's going to be open. Should I hold the ball and look deeper, or should I take the guy right now that's open? Take the guy that's open. Not only you take the guy that's open, you use a lob and then a rack catch, and then you got all this field right here. You got all this field right here. You know. right here, I'm thinking, I already know Smith's going to be covered. I already know Goddard is going to be covered. So I'm only pre-snap. Pre-snap, I know these two wheel routes and the running back are my only option. So I stare this down a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I see that. I see I can take it, but then I see this right here, and I'm like, oh, it's been a while since I took that guy in bunch. So, not just feeling it all game. I was on point with my passes. So, the way to be accurate is to hit them, you know, like at a certain, have perfect timing. I thought I scored on it. Or here I told them you need to have man beating routes. Like I sent you a blitz. It's obvious, clear as day. You cannot. The only way you can really, like I said, make a play out of this, maybe roll out, or wait until one of these guys' backs are turned, you know, and now throw it to your tight end, bullet throw it to your tight end, because he has the eyes. He has the thing is with seam passes. Some of the seam passes, your tight end looks to the quarterback the whole time. And I guess maybe it's because he knows, like, hey, there's a heavy blitz. There's no man beating route. I need to be a receiver. I need to be an open receiver for my quarterback. I need to help him out. So I think it's because he knows the blitz is coming. He's essentially given himself as an option. You know, like I would tell my opponents, like, if you're just, I don't care if you got Tyreek Hill. I don't care who you got. If I'm playing cover zero and I'm not pressing, you're not going to get open deep down the field. I mean, by the time I could have a fourth, fifth corner on Tyreek Hill. Let's say this is Tyreek Hill, right? It's not, but by the time, like, you have to be even with Tyreek Hill. You could argue like, oh, you don't have to be even. You just have to be a little like, um, close to being even or a little more than that before being even to let go of the ball. But you also risk throwing a pick because of that. Because he can bump into the corner or something. You say by the time any cornerback and Tyreek Hill, by the time Tyreek Hill gets even with any cornerback, the blitz is so much faster sometimes. Like here he gets picked up because, you know, um, he gets picked up because he had one running back blocking it. And here's the other thing. So you guys see I have a cover zero defense. And the one thing I say with cover zeros, sometimes they're not great because I'll tell you what situations they're not great against. They're not great against stopping the run a lot of the times. Because if the blockers can get to the second level where the blitz is coming, like all they have to do is split the safeties and it's a big play or a touchdown. Other situations where cover zero aren't good is if your opponent is somebody who knows how to read it. They know how to read it. They know how to go. They know where to go to. They know which guy to go to get the most yards possible or to just beat it. The other part, the other times where cover zero is not great is when your opponent's going covers when they're going with a play action. So you got cover zero. They're going with an easy play action, right? Where it's like a corner with a flat, like a flat to the fullback, a flat, to somebody, and then there's a corner by the tight end. Even if you have an unblocked rusher, the problem with cover zeros against play action is everything is not clean. Where the guys that are blitzing, the guys that are in man coverage, they run into each other. So the middle linebacker or linebacker that you have on the fullback or running back, sometimes they get cut in all that traffic with the blitzers, the other guys in man coverage. They just run into each other. They bump into each other, and the blitzers also get sucked up like so much better in play actions. They do such a better job because the thing with cover zeros is most of the blitz is coming off the middle because whether you have a 4-3, 3-4, your blitzes are trying to come through those gaps, the A gap, B gaps, stuff like that. They're trying to come in through the middle. Like there's still guys on the outside, but they take a longer time, So that's why the offensive linemen only care about covering the fastest way to the quarterback, which is a straight line, which is the A gap, which is through the middle. So you have enough time, unless you have like a Micah Parsons or you had like a nickel cover zero where like a really speedy like corner was coming in on a blitz, it was unblocked, stuff like that. The times where cover zero is good is when your opponent has a combination of likes to go with mostly deep routes and doesn't really read the defense or takes time to read the defense to know like it's cover zero. I mean, you literally can just against a cover zero. This is a look of a cover zero. When you're spreading out the defense, it's easy to read a cover zero because there's nobody on the slot guys, and you know that the guys that are covered by the slot guys are covered by the safeties in man coverage. So because of this, you can have a curl flat concept. You can have a flat slant flat concept here because they're all getting free releases. I would just say throw it to. The only time I would say throw it to the flat to a slot guy against a safety is like if your guy is so much more of an athlete and the safety's just slow, to react and slow, off the ball, slow in pursuit, that stuff. Then you could just like break the tackle and he's the only guy really. Because if you have a slant here, this guy's going here out of the picture and you throw let's say this was a flat. You throw this flat here, you break this tackle by him, you're gone. If it's like a slot wide receiver, tight end, you're probably getting 30, 40 yards, whatever. Oh, yeah, right here. It's like it didn't matter what like down it was. I was like, listen, like if it's cover two, I got that whole shot right there. If it's man, I got this slant that I hot routed, and if I have enough time and it's man, the slant's taken away. I got this deep post. I have a lot of options with this play. As long as there's no blitz, things are not confusing. Like boom. The only tough part about the play is making sure I make the throw. That's it. At this point, I didn't care if I got the touchdown. I just wanted to make sure I got the first down. And then after that, then I'm working on the second part of the phase, right after the catch. Yeah, right here I saw this and I'm like, I'm hoping I somehow am able to tip it, the computer's able to tip it or pick it off, but my back's turned, and not only that, it's my fourth or fifth corner on him, so I have my fourth and fifth corners outside because I don't want to play Slay. It would be overkill. It would be overkill if I had Slay and Bradbury on the field. Sure, would they still be able to make plays with their Jamar Chases and, if it was a mirror match and it was Antonio Brown? I mean, fuck. I'm sorry, A.J. Brown. I'm sorry. A.J. Brown, Jamar Chases, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson's, I'll be honest. Part of me was surprised when Darius Slay locked him down. I was like, he must have had help, right? And he didn't. I mean, there were times, most of the time, he didn't have help, but the times I think where he did get the picks, it was just a forced throw by Kirk Cousins. I'm not trying to downplay Slay's night because he shot him down like to what, one catch for what, I don't even know, maybe 13 yards. I don't remember. Uh, that's a tough task. It's tough to shut down any like number one corner from any team, let alone number one that's like in the league wide receiver. So and especially when teams are trying to attack you with different pass concepts and protections, trying to hold up so they can have more time to get open against you. Like it's tough. It's the toughest job. I agree. The cornerback position. When I try to really like not sound like I'm saying quarterback because cornerback and quarterback sound almost the same. So not the QB, but a cornerback, defensive back, defensive cornerback. Those guys have it the toughest because the receiver knows. This is just like based off one, fact. The receiver knows where he's going. The corner doesn't. You know, that's why the position's the hardest position. You could argue and say maybe the linebacker because the linebacker doesn't know, that the linebacker doesn't know like where the running backs are going or whoever they have in man coverage are going. And now I would say pretty soon maybe the linebacker will be the toughest position because you're getting these guys who used to be like former running backs and wide receivers playing the running back position. You got guys like Debo Samuel. You got guys like uh, Christian McCaffrey. They are matchup nightmares. Like, how do you double team a running back? Like, how do you even do that? Do you bracket? Do you use like a man combination, like a man and zone? Do you use like a combination of like uh, a guy in zone and then like manning him up with your best like cover guy, like a safety, like, or do you have a combination of like doubling him with a linebacker and a safety? It's like it's different because back in the day, the only guys you had to double team were wide receivers and tight ends. Now you have to, you know, the way the NFL is going, you have teams like they either want to get like players that are so good that um they need to double. Teams are trying to get players offensively that are such matchup nightmares at a receiving position, which could mean running back, tight end, wide receiver, fullback, whatever, slot receiver, whatever. Is that way it takes one less guy out of coverage, right? So imagine this is what I used to say with Lamar Jackson, all these mobile quarterbacks, like these really, really like fast mobile quarterbacks. If you have a guy that has to be doubled, right? Let's say like the Ravens had a guy like if they weren't doubling Mark Andrews or Hollywood Brown, they were beating their one on ones, right? And most teams were playing man coverage against Lamar Jackson because you can't really play zone and expect to contain a quarterback. So you have to play man and you have to play contained. And sometimes man's the best way because it can be good depending on your secondary, your man coverage guy, your guys in man coverage, and it allows for better blitzing angles, all that stuff. And it's an easier like job on the defenders because it's easy like, oh, I don't have to worry about reading a pass concept. I just have to worry about like a single receiver, like a running back, wide receiver, tight end. But they had the Ravens had like two receivers. Like they had a speedster with Hollywood Brown. They had a tight end who needed to be doubled. So those guys, they needed to both be doubled sometimes at the same time. And then slot receivers were killing them. Fullbacks were killing the defense. The times they didn't double Brown, it'd be a slant, boom, touchdown. They didn't double Mark Andrews. He was killing them with every type of route, seam passes, corner routes like sticks. Flats were going for touchdowns because they would send heavy blitzes and sometimes not even like heavy man blitzes, but they would even send blitzes that would leave guys wide open, not even have a responsibility on guys. So it'll be an easy read. They go, oh, Lamar Jackson will be under center. They're going to be blitzing and they're going to be containing. When you blitz and you contain, like you send eight, you're not really sending eight. You're sending six. So play action with a running back in protection, that's getting blocked up. And what's going on? You're having easy one-on-ones on the field. Now, if you go with a blitz, it's not possible to blitz and double team two guys. So it's like a numbers game. It's teams in the NFL now. The way the NFL is going, in my opinion, is they're trying to win the numbers game. They're trying to make you either double team one or two guys on a play, or they're trying to like take players out of coverage and also take guys out of their pass rush. Because when you're blitzing guys to stop a mobile quarterback, you're taking guys out of coverage. And then when you're QB containing a quarterback from the defensive end positions or outside linebackers, you're taking them out of coverage and you're taking them out of their pass rush. So you're essentially making your defense only really cover the quarterback to hope that he makes a mistake, hope that he makes the wrong read. So you can like this is what I would say. I would leave guys. I would if I was a defensive coordinator, I would do that. I would leave maybe one or two guys open, only open, but I would study like, okay, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'd be like, okay, they got PA crossers. Where do most quarterbacks like to make their first read? Is it the inside guy first? Is it the tight end first? Do they like what do they look at first? Okay, they for PA crossers they might look at a streak first, but if they see off coverage, they're probably going to go off of that. So you could blitz him and do a great job with all the other guys and get to the quarterback because he would be unblocked. User rush him outside, user rush a nickel guy inside, stuff like that. Guys who they don't, you know, if you send a blitz, you pretty much, in my opinion, for defensive coordinators, they want to send a blitz. You're obviously not going to blitz a guy where you think the quarterback's going to go to. So let's say you don't want to try to blitz like they have Jamar Chase. You don't blitz the corner playing Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? You don't want to do stuff like that. Or sometimes I used to think, why don't they just blitz Richard Sherman? Because so many teams don't even look to his side. I used to remember back in the day, fuck, if I was a defensive coordinator, I would just blitz Sherman like, a few times a game. Especially if they go under center and it's like a play action play or stuff like that. Like, why not blitz your corners that aren't even looked at? You know what I mean? But you don't really want to blitz in areas where the quarterback's going to look to. So you want to blitz in areas where the quarterback, is kind of going to where you expect them to cancel their reads. So on defense, you want to kind of act, you want to pretend like you're the quarterback on offense. Like, where would I not go on offense based off this look I'm giving him defensively? It's like, okay, back corners back off. He's probably not going to go deep to his outside receivers. He's probably going to go to the slot, go to his tight end, go to a check down to his running back, that kind of stuff. And then sometimes it's like a long down situation. You could try to put man across the board and then just blitz the man defender that would have played the running back. And, I don't do that. I should. See, I talk about things, but I don't even do it myself. Blitzing on long downs, like playing man coverage and blitzing like a running back, especially if you have great corners, secondaries across the board, like a cover one man, but you just like blitz the running back. If you don't think he's got a route, so you can use that blitzer that's supposed to cover the running back and man coverage. Have him on a blitz and just take a peek. Okay, is he actually going out on a route? Not only is he going on a route, but if it's like a short route, keep blitzing. Keep blitzing. If it's like a wheel route, cover that wheel route. Stuff like that. If it's a flat, if it's a short route, hey, if it's third and 25, and they go to the flats, hey, we leave it open, they get a first down, hey, great job by them, because you're not going to expect to have to cover a flat route on third and 25. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I feel like defensively, it's like you're putting defenses out there to start, like vanilla defenses out there. That's why I hate when any fan, any like football analyst says, "Oh, it's only preseason. You know, these are vanilla defenses." Uh, those same defenses are used in actual regular season games. What's the difference between a cover two man in preseason and a cover two man in the regular season? Same responsibilities, same guys rushing, same everything. Maybe there's disguise that they wouldn't use in preseason. I mean, what would really be the difference? What's the difference between a cover four in preseason and a cover four or cover four or quarters defense in preseason and a cover four or quarters defense in the regular season? There's no difference. The only difference I could see there being would be like a little disguise, but they would also do a disguise in preseason too. You know, they're not just gonna have you. It's not just gonna be like this scrimmage game. It's just not gonna be like, oh, here's a cover four. All right, we're telling you, hey, here's a cover four. Try to beat it. Like they're not gonna do that. They're gonna try to disguise it in preseason too. So when I hear shit like that, it's like, or when a wide receiver kills it in preseason or in practice, I was like, okay, well, tell me what kind of coverage it was. If it was man coverage, if a wide receiver was drafted like top 10, top 20 in the first round, and he killed it in preseason, I want to know what coverage he went against. I want to know what corner he went up against. I want to know what defense he had to go against. Was it a bracket coverage? Was it a double team? Was it man? Was it zone? What kind of zone was it? Stuff like that. Um, did he get a free release? Was it press? Stuff like that. And then people would say like, "Oh, well, you can't really know from preseason how great a player is." Bullshit. Bullshit. You can learn, in my opinion, does a quarterback not see the same defenses that he would in a regular season? Yeah, sure. Are there less blitzes, less exotic blitzes, less combo coverages? And they're not going to show their combo coverages. They're not going to show much exotic blitzes or their best blitzes like they would in the regular season. But most of the time in most regular season games, most teams are not blitzing. Most teams are just, you know, putting their defense out on the field and telling you to beat it. Cover three, cover four, cover two. And then times if the quarterback does well, you see them doing adjustments like disguising their cover threes, their cover twos, cover fours, and that's it. You know what I mean? And then they try to disguise it and bring a blitz, or they try to mess with the quarterback's head, thinking a heavy blitz is coming, and then they back out, or there's like they overload to one side, like a blitz coming on one side, but then a corner or nickel's coming from the other side, so they block up. So the quarterback tells the O line to block the whole right side of the field, leaving that nickel guy on block. Shit like that. That's the only difference, really. You know, it's more of a chess match in the regular season. But if you think about it, like, oh, that quarterback had a great preseason. I want to know why. Was he great? Like how was his timing with his receivers? How was his accuracy? How was he able to? How was his deep ball? How did he react against this? Regular blitz. How did he react against cover three? Like where did he go? Did he go to the right receiver against the zone? Like you can still learn. You can still see if your quarterback has it or not. You can still see if your investment, if you were good on your investment. You know what I mean? So when I hear shit like I used to agree back then when I wasn't really when I was a casual fan, I agreed with everybody. Preseason is just, preseason is, it doesn't matter. Like preseason, like you can't really get a feeling. That's bullshit. Wide receivers tell you if they're good against man, if they're how good they are against zones, how technical they are, how how great they work with their releases against press, how they set guys up, how they read the defense as they're running their routes, stuff like that. I mean, you can know from preseason. Don't tell me you can't know. You can know. Oh, my quarterback's cerebral. He was able to beat like every defense that they showed in preseason. stunt blitzes, cross blitzes, like all coverage, like you know, man, cover two man, cover one. He knew where the blitzer was coming. He knew when the safety was rotating. He knew how to attack this zone. He knew how to attack based off how the safeties looked. He knew where to get his eyes. He knew where to get his eyes for reading his progression, which side of the field to read. He knew which checks to make at the line, who to ID, which blocking adjustments to make. I mean, it's not like every single team on defense just throws like regular like 3 or 4 man rushes. They're sending teams like the Steelers. They ain't fucking around in preseason. There's a lot of teams that blitz you heavy. There's a lot of teams in preseason that play you like it's a regular season game. The Steelers are one of them. They're known for that. So I'm quite frankly, that's almost like it's ludicrous that whenever I hear that shit, it just makes no sense to me that people would say, "Oh, wow, 157 rating." I did not expect that. Okay, it was four touchdowns or interceptions. A lot of my interceptions just come because, like I say, I don't know the situation when I'm talking to you guys or I talk to my opponent. I don't know the situation, or I'm talking to myself. Whatever it is, when I'm talking, I don't know the situation. Don't know if the play clock's running down. Don't know if how much time's left at the end of the half, end of the game. You know, don't know. There's so many times I don't even know if I'm winning or losing. So there's times where it's first down and I think I'm losing. There's times where it's first down and I'm thinking it's like third down or fourth down, right? And it could be like a second and 25. I'm thinking it's like a fourth down. And then I'm thinking I'm also losing. I end up having a 7 or 10 point lead, and somehow my mind is like, "Oh, you're losing, you're losing." So I'm like, so one thing it's like I'm thinking it's third and 25 or fourth and 25. Like I have to have this play because I'm down 10, and or I'm losing the whole time I'm up by 10. So it's like my mind just like so many times just is my worst enemy, and it has nothing to do with not being able to read a coverage most of the time, not being able to. I'm really beating myself most of the time because I'm not just playing hero ball because I just want to make every play possible. My mind really thinks like it's a third and long, fourth and long when it's only a first or second down. Or yeah, do I try to play hero ball when there's no pass rush, nobody's open, and I hold it and hold it, and I don't check back to the line to see, oh, is somebody getting a black shed, and then I see somebody coming, and then I see some like a receiver flash open, and I throw it, and it's picked off. You know, because I'm not checking the windows when I'm being pressured. I feel like every quarterback, probably everybody, when pressure comes, they see somebody flash wide open. It looks wide open, but there's like somebody coming in that zone, in that window to defend it. So just got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, you know. And that last game, I did pretty well, because I knew where to go with the ball. I knew I had my backup plans. I did, if I didn't do my blocking adjustments or ID the mic, I knew what the coverage was. And if it wasn't the coverage, I had enough time because he wasn't blitzing me. If he would have blitzed me, that's why I say if you blitz me, I'm not going to be able to do my blocking adjustments all game long. Or ID the mic, or go to my hot reads or my checkdowns. Ah, shit. I don't know what time is it. It was weird because I had to record the live stream. I had to broadcast the live stream 3 times because during that game, I think one time during practice, or twice during the game, one game, it said broadcast connection error or something with the server. Like I didn't. First of all, I didn't know there were servers, but obviously I don't. I'm not a technical guy, so obviously there are servers for like every online service. So whether you're live streaming or playing online, there's service for everything. What time is it? 2:20, 2:19. Shit. Man, a minute estimated wait time. My fiance will call me in 10 minutes, around 10 minutes. So if you guys hear me or notice it go on mute, then you know why. Man, my finger, I woke up with like my middle finger on my left hand being like scratched up, and I woke up with the middle finger on my right hand being like um, jammed, like where every few minutes I'm able to crack it. Normally, I hope it's not like whatchamacallit, not carpal tunnel. What's the other one called? Damn it. People tell you as soon as you turn 30, everything goes to shit. That's hard to believe, really, because when you're 30 years old, it's like not that long ago that you were a kid, you know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense. I always had a hard time, like, that's like I used to say, oh, I got back pain that I can't explain. People be like, oh, it's because you're 31, or it's because you just turned 30. Ah, come on, really? So you're telling me, like, people would start having, people, like, I always thought you had to be, like, 45, 50, or more than 50 to start having back problems. But if you think about it, we have, I wouldn't just say, I would say as a species, we have a lot of bad habits. We have bad habits. And the funny thing is, there are people who get paid to tell you how to correct your bad habits. I mean, to be honest, we have chiropractors to like tell us how to fix our bad way of thinking. We have professionals telling us how to correct our posture, or tell us how to stretch, or tell us how to, you know, just tell us how to prevent bad posture, or how to work with our posture. And these are, this shouldn't be something, it shouldn't be a job, but as a species, we have a lot of bad habits. And we have to pay people to correct our bad habits. It's crazy to me. It's like you can't sleep, you have sleep apnea, you have to pay somebody. You have to pay to, get tested, or you have to pay to, get this or that. It's like everything in life, we have bad habits. Like, have diabetes? Oh, well, part of it was genetic, but the other part is that, you know, you weren't taught how to eat properly, or you weren't taught how to eat, you know, the right way, or have portion control. You have to pay for a dietitian. You have to pay for pills. You know, oh, you got me. Yep. That's what I always say. If you know it's man coverage, they're gonna use her and back out somebody. Bad habits. So we have to pay for professionals to teach us how to eat, teach us how to think, teach us how to even breathe. I mean, yoga instructors are pretty much paid. They're professionals telling you basically how to breathe, how to relax, or how to breathe. Same with chiropractors. We pay for medicine because we don't, we pay, diabetics pay for medication because they can't control their eating, or same thing with exercise. We need a personal trainer because we don't know how to train ourselves. It's like everything in this world it's almost like we're clueless.
Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run. So the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less.
I just
That's
realized
all
I'm
he's
playing
got to do.
the Chargers.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
I never thought of it that way, to
Looking to
be
get it
honest.
out of the
Like,
backfield, but as
as
of
a
yet,
species, it's like,
he's
yeah.
making sure he's securing the football.
That's why I used to see things
And
like,
sometimes you got to let
why
the
are we
ball
only,
sit under their
like,
feet.
I used to see posts on Facebook or on social
He
media,
forces the
like,
blockers with the
why are we
pressure.
only,
Looking for a
whatchamacallit,
nice job there protecting the
taught
football and
education,
picking up
like,
the first down.
taught from,
Coverage was
taught
good.
math, science, social studies, all this stuff, but we're not taught,
Short and incomplete.
like common sense, or we're not taught, like, how to do other stuff, you know?
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Herbert. That's complete to the tight
We're
end.
not taught how to eat properly. All we have is like the FDA or whatever guidelines with the food pyramid, which is wrong every 5 or 10 years.
On 3rd and
You
7
know,
ahead.
we have guidance counselors, but
Again, Herbert.
society, we feel like if you go see somebody that there's something wrong with you.
He's going to
You know,
hold the
you're
Chargers
crazy.
first
You
down
know,
as they're able to get the third down
and
converted.
I said this before.
Ball down to the 16
You know, like
here from the
everybody
10.
needs mental health. Everybody has a mental health issue. It's the human condition. Everybody has it. Like you hear stuff like even chiropractors have. I mean, not chiropractor. Even therapists have their own therapists. So tell me, like, even chiropractors have their own chiropractors. Therapists have their own therapists. Personal trainers have their own personal trainers. Like, why?
Offense backwards a bit.
You know,
And this will probably
why would a
bring up
personal trainer need to have a personal trainer? Why would a chef need to have their own chef? You know, this is all shit I just started thinking about right now. Yeah. Like when I had the opportunity, I didn't even know before high school we had a choice to pick between like career school or high school, and I just wanted high school because I thought like,
now again.
oh,
The
I'm
play fake
sure the
on
career
4th and
center
1.
option probably won't have gym, or probably most people. So I only picked high school because I was always set on wanting to have that high school experience, want to be popular, wanted to just have the high school experience. Because I'm thinking, oh, well, there's probably going to be more people picking high school instead of the career. So I end up picking high school, where the better, in my opinion, yeah, career is better than school. Even people who, like, had high school diplomas, they'll tell you, you know, because the issue is all job requirements want is like a high school diploma, GED or equivalent, and but unless you have like a bachelor's degree or you're certified in something, you know, um, don't know why he quit. Maybe he had to go. I don't know. Wow. Oh, my fiance will probably be calling me in a couple minutes or any minute. Basically, we shouldn't need to pay for medicine, right? Healthcare should be free for everybody. We shouldn't need to pay for stuff that we should learn in school, right? So instead of, I'll be honest, I love gym. I wouldn't want to give it up. If I had to go back to high school, I would prefer gym all the time. But maybe add another hour of school instead of having kids come home at like 2:30, 2:45, whatever it is. Have them stay till 4. Give them another hour for another elective or another class that has to deal with teaching them, like life experiences. Like even though all kids might not have diabetes, it's going to be a pandemic one day. You know, um, here I am playing a Madden game and completely going off subject, but it's because if I have something, people would think I have ADD or whatever because I'm going completely off subject. But something in Madden made me think about real life. So, habits, bad habits. All people may not have the same health condition, but you know, why are we not taught health, or we're not really taught health in, I think we do have health class in high school, or we did, I'm not sure. But like I said, we pay for stuff like the human species has so many bad habits. We have so many bad habits. I'm saying it again because I just want to say it again. Uh, like we pay for personal trainers, we pay for medication to because we don't know how to control our eating, or we pay for uh, therapists because we don't know how to
We're at the home
deal
of
with
Super
issues,
Bowl
deal with
52
problems.
champions, Lincoln
Or
Financial
society
Field in
is
Philadelphia, PA.
just like,
And
oh,
we've got
you
a
can't
new
see anybody.
matchup on tap
Like
between the
you
Cleveland
can't you can't
Browns
see a
and the
therapist.
New
Something's wrong with
England
you if you go
Patriots.
see a therapist. There's even people who say, oh, if you see a therapist, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Like there's literally
Here's the
people
kicker,
like that.
Jake Elliott, looking to get
They don't
this
want to
one
be
started.
associated with
On the
somebody who
kickoff from Lincoln
goes to
Financial
see
Field.
like a
Here's
therapist.
Jakeem Grant from his end zone.
And the sad thing is,
And
when I
he'll
used to
take
fight
it.
with my
He gets
family,
out to the 25-yard
and they
line
knew
on
that I
this
would
one.
go to a therapist, it was like, oh, you're crazy. You go see a therapist, because they just wanted to win the conversation.
First play from scrimmage. Watson going to throw it. Swings this out for Hunt. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's second down. Here's Watson. And right away, he lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. That right there is the inauspicious start that they were hoping to avoid, the turnover on the first possession.
I love how you use those college-bound words like that, inauspicious. Well done. I really appreciate that. But here's the thing for me. I'm just wondering if their game plan is incorrect. You know, I think they felt like they could come in and throw it around.
Touchdown, Philadelphia. Devontae Smith, 36 yards. And the Eagles take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Elliott good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Browns drive about to get started. Things a lot different than the last time they were on the field. Remember, they threw the interception, gave up the touchdown, and now trailing 7-0 and looking for a response. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
He's got a man, complete. A big play that time for Cleveland, 61 yards. On 1st and 10, Watson. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here.
Oh, that's good decision-making right there. Understood down and distance. Knew it wasn't third down, and he still had another opportunity to earn the first down. Good job throwing it away and avoiding an interception.
They go with Chubb on second down. And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5. Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. They run it again with Chubb. And he'll take this one down inside the 5 to the 3. not going to get in. They stop him at the 1. They stop him on 4th and goal at the 3. And this Eagle defense stands tall down near the goal line. And they'll run with Sermon to begin the drive. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
I think if we put together a job description for a middle linebacker, we would start with being able to hold down things in the middle of the line of scrimmage and be able to take on blockers. But how about the guys who can go sideline to sideline and make plays?
Love a guy that can do that. We saw a perfect example of it right there. He'll try to get forward, but he's going to be stopped in his tracks at about the 3. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. As long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
Ready. 28. Mike, 28. Let's go. Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go. Watch the edge.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
19, Tiger. 60 Bison. 60 Bison.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Book. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Finding space at the 40. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. 2 first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10.
Mike, 28.
A give running right is Gainwell. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, baby.
Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
Tight end's right.
2nd down, Book.
4 down.
Drops this one down to Gainwell. And they're going to get this down to about the 37. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield. They're understanding the coverages.
Book under pressure, and he'll go down. Anthony Walker, given that O-line fits, he gets in there to drop him. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23.
4 down. Mike, 28. Mike, 28. Hey, watch.
To throw his Book. He's got his target. That's Zach Pascal. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
28. Hey, number 20.
On 1st and 10, Book.
Let's go, D. Let's go.
He'll hit Watkins on the crossing route. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Quez Watkins, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Eagles drive the entire length of the field, 99 yards for the score. Elliott good with a PAT, and it's now 14-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let go.
The Browns drive about to get started. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
Mike 17, Mike 17. And we got to go.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. They'll roll him out right. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
17's Mike. 31. You better bring it. You better bring it. 24. I'm letting you know right now, you better bring it.
On first down, it's Watson.
Mike 17. It's just me.
He's going to wind up and air it out. And this one is incomplete.
I believe I'm following their logic. Take the big shot downfield, loosen things up. You're hoping to get some points on the board before the half. Maybe now you come back and throw some underneath stuff in order to make sure you get a completion.
17's Mike. Mike 17. Pick me up. Here we go. Mike.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson.
Time to go. Night, night.
Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
17's Mike. 14. Come on. Mike 17.
On 3rd down, it's
Mike
Nick
17.
Chubb.
Check,
Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now a play fake, and it's Watson sliding out of the pocket. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Again, it's Cooper as he makes the catch. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. And he's going to ball his way down to about the 1-yard line. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on 2nd and goal? And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Now Watson going to sneak it. Only a few inches needed on the sneak. He didn't get it, and now it's 4th down. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play.
So don't say nothing. Shift.
Here's Watson on the sneak. Try to wedge his way in there. No signal. I don't think he got there. He did it. They try the sneak, but not enough push. He doesn't get in. And this Eagle defense stands tall down near the goal line. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And with a and he is not going to get away. The rush was too strong, and this is going to wind up a safety.
The goal was a score just before the break, but I'm not sure that a safety was how they expected to do it. But give the defenders credit. They saw how the series was starting out, and I think it increased their intensity. This was their chance to make a huge play before the half, and all they needed was one play to get it done.
Where's the set?
14 seconds, all that's left of this first half as they come up on first down.
Mike 17, Mike 17. I got it. 17's Mike.
Back to throw, Watson.
I'm going back to you.
This taken in by Jakeem Grant. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards.
That was awfully nice. Hit him in stride, and off he went. It was almost like the ball hitting him was like him receiving a baton, and he was running the anchor leg in a relay race.
He'll buy some time right. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. A very interesting call and one that backfires. I know they're losing, Charles, but boy, to start the second half with the onside kick, risky.
Felt like a sense of urgency from their side, coupled with, you and I both know the special teams coordinators, they sell their key plays each and every week to the head coach, don't they? And I'll guarantee he's been selling this one. We can get it, coach, we can get it. And that came together with that sense of urgency you talked about.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Here we go. Mike, 28. Mike, 28.
Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
Watch twist.
They run behind center with Gainwell. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Mike 5.
And they go play action with Book. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And it's caught at the 6-yard line. What a play that turns out to be, 36 yards. Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. He will find Smith in the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A great effort there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And they are able to add on to their advantage. They'll try and throw for it. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he returns this to the 22. The Browns drive about to get started. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Faking the give. Now Watson. And he finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Another try after the first down sack. Watson going out wide, finds Chubb. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. The result, only 4 yards.
Money!
3rd and 11 situation.
Offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
He's going to dish this off to his running back, Hunt. And he is going to have the Browns.
Oh,
As they're able to get the 3rd
Let me see that bread. Let me see that bread.
A first carry now for Kareem Hunt as he's
Brad.
thrown
I know.
2 sets of turnovers.
Oh shit! Why would you?
From the
Ooh!
line of scrimmage.
Damn,
Second
baby.
and 10.
You were a vulture today. Huh?
Yeah.
I want to see. I wanted to see that one right there. Damn. Holy
Go,
fuck.
go.
Oh, they're hot. Yeah. Oh, fresh bread.
Know how to make a play.
Huh?
Then there's this
Great
one.
plays right
Yeah.
there.
Damn it. Too bad we didn't have deli meat and cheese. You should have
Waiting on that last
picked
run.
them up.
And then this.
Second and 10.
We still got a couple slices, some cheese, right?
Watson off the
The hell? Why
snap.
do I have a goal line defense out there?
That's into the hands of Darnold.
Hmm.
How do you rip the bread like
And he has
Well,
another first
I
down.
couldn't help it.
Moving on
This
third
isn't.
down.
Why is this still not as fresh?
18 yards the pickup there. Move the chains.
Well, we talk all the time about bread
What
situational
are you
football,
talking
but
about?
I think the scoreboard is
Like
dictating
other
where these
places that do
offenses are
bread,
and where they are
it's so much.
defensively.
It feels so much more fresh.
Taking those shots, trying to get big chunks of yardage
That
out of it.
literally came out of the oven,
That was a nice play
No.
there.
huh?
No.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It was.
Second down, here's Shanahan. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves them with 5 more.
Long
3rd
ass
and 5
bread.
now.
Oh my god.
I can taste the ingredients in here, so they're adding too much. Either they added too much yeast or something.
Here in this third
It's a
quarter.
little more yeasty.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion is opened up on 3rd down. Now Watson. He's got it complete. It's Amari Cooper. And he has another first down as he'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 12-yard line. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. And
If
efficiency
this guy
starts
was
to pay
winning or
off.
losing, playing like he does, he
Have what we're
get
seeing
no
here is a
respect from
drive
anybody. But he's getting his ass beat
so far
playing the
he's
way
gotten
he's
one
playing.
touchdown to this point, and what's usually a direct correlation? Very few
I haven't
touchdowns.
really put any real adjustments against
So
that.
not able to hit that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice gain there for a first down.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Watson. Incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll have the hook up the middle.
Against man coverage.
And the Browns are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
He had to make a different throw against that because man coverage not easy to get that.
And a timeout as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Oh, how about this ball down near the goal line? This is going to result in losing yardage.
Man,
Give it
I
back to
always
the
say don't use
Eagles.
those in goal line.
On 2nd and goal, Watson flushed out left. Looking in for the
What?
one, and it's
So much fucking
incomplete.
bread.
As a defensive back, you want
Yeah.
some weapons at your disposal. One that we often talk about, and you can read a receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it, and oftentimes knock it away.
Hey, unless
Huh.
we ain't going hungry.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Drops it off for Chubb.
Yeah.
And this
Oh
time
yeah.
there's nowhere to lose it.
Bread is a big staple in any household.
Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this 4th quarter.
We're rich in dough. Corner routes should be covered.
With Watson on 4th down. Eluding the pressure right. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Eagles will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside of the pocket
Man, I'm seeing a difference in players, babe. A lot of them are not quitting it anymore. Maybe it's finally getting to them.
No.
On first down, Bull
Don't jinx it now.
flushed to his right. And he fires one incomplete.
Maybe the I'm spreading word of mouth. Like people are finding that it's getting to them. The community's not quitting it anymore.
To throw on second and 10. Bull
He's always a blocker in cover
across
three.
midfield and just shy of the 40. It's a gain of 16 and an Eagle first down.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Oh, look at that
And the
throw! Wow,
Seahawkers have intercepted. Picked off by
too
Joe
early.
Osukaramoa. And the Browns will take over possession here up at the 44. Well, that interception at least offers them a glimmer of hope here in the fourth quarter.
Well, it certainly does if their offense goes out now and makes a play like that getting into the end zone. And if it does, then they get a chance to get back out on the field and try and do it again. Maybe
Yeah.
they can force that offense into more and more mistakes and give them
People
a
tell
chance
you
to
to
get back
abandon the
on
run
track.
for a whole second half when there's a score like this. Me, I tell you, no.
But you know, guys,
Still run the ball,
it's
but
not my night.
yeah, it's too late now.
It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Second down, here's Chubb again. And down he goes at the 49, a 4-yard pickup. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Now it's Watson.
Oh, God.
And the tackle going to be made at the 38. 13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first. 2 minutes left to
This is
play
what
in this
happens,
football
guys.
game.
Player, whether they do good or not, they use money plays or they use plays to beat all coverage. Come on.
So here's a first and 10 at the 38. Watson now to throw. There's another catch by the running back, Nick Chubb.
Well, you suck. You can't
And he's
stop
tackled
it.
wide.
Well, if I try to stop it, I'm giving up a touchdown somewhere
Well, you
else.
can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if you can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything that counts as a moral victory or something that feels a little bit cheap.
Like, to be honest, he could have had touchdowns almost every play with it because I've been using cover threes and cover fours and cover twos.
So a tie game late, not in a lopsided game at
That
all.
play
They are not
beats
losing this
all of
one.
that.
An incomplete
Not
pass
just
intended
beats
for
it for
Watson at the
touchdowns.
25. From the gun, it's again this Chubb.
That tells you that they don't look. They only look at like the
Big
the
jump for
inside deep
a
crosser
gain there. Not a whole lot of
and the
room
tight
there.
end and the flat. They don't look at the deep post or the streak on the play.
Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. Buying time to his left. He finds his man. It's
Wow,
complete. That's Cooper.
touchdowns.
He's going to be a yard short. Needed two, but only got one. 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep
That's
the
why I'm able to
quarterback
play with
open
backups.
and see the play
Because I
develop
mean,
right
look
in
at this.
front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right there.
Even on that play, he had two guys for a touchdown.
Here we go on 4th. Watson. That is caught at the 7. A brace of
Instead, we're looking at
punches on
garbage time.
3rd and final timeout as they get him to 26 seconds to go into
I
football
should have
time.
lost probably 35 to like 15.
Here's Watson. And
Yeah,
here's
I
Chubb.
always say slants are the easiest to like read
We've seen this quite a few times here.
because you can see everybody running them. Like
Able to keep people
routes that are harder to
separated
defend are guys who are going more vertical.
fortunate just to get rid of it.
You know,
One of the reasons they're
other
good
pass
is they
concepts
don't
easy to
allow
read are
turnovers.
mesh,
They saw nothing
mesh
but the
spot.
gap there.
I knew he was gonna try to run it, but you know. All I knew, like as a user, sometimes you know, all it's a situation to defend the quarterback keeper is you can stay in the middle and still look for that. When you have zones, there you know you have a lot of zones. You can cover the middle, short middle, deep middle, and still cover the quarterback on a QB keeper. But he just trucked forward or fell forward. So I don't know how he never fumbles that. I get hit like that, the same exact hit every time. He never fumbles that. By guys who should be causing fumbles too.
And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
So much about defending the pass is being able to be
I'll give it to him. One, he didn't quit. Two, he didn't. I don't know if he used user rushers or not.
To throw again on second down. And that is incomplete. Stopping
I'm
the
just
clock
fucking around now.
5 seconds to go. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
I do have quarters 3 deep plays, but didn't get to them. That's in my custom playbook on the PS4. Can't transfer them to the PS5.
Escaping the pressure right.
I use a rack catch.
Flips it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the
I
Browns
use a low bullet
turnover.
or a low lob, and I used a rack catch on that throw. If I didn't, it's probably, a big play.
It's gonna be tuna fish.
What?
Yeah.
Alright, good. Tuna fish sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. It's gonna be a tuna fish. The way you said it made it sound like the baby's gonna be a tuna fish. Like, that's the reveal of our baby. It's gonna be a tuna fish. It's not a male or female, it's a tuna fish. I never heard somebody say that. Dinner is gonna be a tuna fish.
Mayonnaise?
No, we shouldn't. I don't think we do. We? They got it over there at that convenience store. I'm sure they also have deli meats and cheeses.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis.
Shit, I should have went over there, took pictures, or wrote stuff down that they had. But I used to do that. Some businesses, they don't like that. They're like, can't allow that. Can't take pictures, can't write stuff down that they have. It's bullshit.
Do you want to go over then?
Well, for what? Oh, for mayonnaise?
Mustard, if they have it.
You like mayonnaise and mustard, right? On your
Yeah, we
tuna.
used the last time.
Huh? Oh, yeah. But it wasn't like a regular, was it? Like a regular tuna fish sandwich?
Yeah.
You made that for me too?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess. What time is it? 3:03. Yeah. I'll go in a little bit. I'll stop playing now. Played too many games. 2 games plus like almost an hour of practice. I don't know how long. A lot.